dinaa ko bokka waa GRTS suma assistant fii tudda Sira Cissé fuñ ko oo rek mu ñëw fekk si ñu parce que bugga na women empowerment wool bi yëpp gis ko nit ñi gis ñu kon waa GRTS Sira Cissé yaa sa team ñoo ngi leen di sant bu baax di leen gërëm maa yéen a bokka lii ñu ñoo ko bokka kontaan nañ torop Sira Cissé nga ne la si gannaaw dama bëgg a caméra bi jël ko suma rakk bu baax maa ko yar dooyan na mu fu ma bokka rek bokka na fa kon Sira Cissé maa ngi laa ñaanal waaw
Cissé Moussa mo yaa sa na Sira Camara
loolu la
al ma tuba
mu ngi ne kii mooy Sira Cissé boo xam ne daam to aat buga lu nekk mu ngi ni awar baa maa yéen a ko bokka waa GRTS seen team mu ñoo doole parce que dafa bëgg a ñëpp gis ñu government bi gis ñu ñu mun a dimbali women empowerment which is more important foog naa loolu laajte waaw thank you so much women empowerment
te jigéen ji moom dafa sori si ñun ay siiwa moo ko jël yal na ko yàlla yërëm te jigéen ay anti Aïssatou Sarr
taxaw leen ñu defal ko fay leen 5 minutes rek. Attends leen 1 minute. suñu memba la.
yal na fi àjjana ci gaaw.
abi jaaw des ndaama jaaw moo tax kenn nekku fi ndaa fa ñu jox ko waa poste Khady Ndiaye
Khady Ndiaye ma dara ñëw ko fa
Ndeye Kodou Niang
Ndeye Kodou Niang gis ya Kodou dafa dem waaw yafa dama jël ka jël ko benn yoon Ndeye Kodou Niang ko ñu memba ci ani ya fa de ko ko ka ni ne ñan do ma la Ndeye Kodou yep thank you
am na ñu xam ne seen amoon yi pare wuñ loolu moo tax waaye dinañ leen ko yónni ñu fi nekkul seen bos yaa ngi ne dañ leen ko jox wax tur yu bari yaa ngi gisuñ leen fi loolu lañ denc ko waaye di wax jigéen women empowerment yëpp jërëjëf
mari hajara ko sama sax waaw ñu wa diaspora
yi seen bos yaa fi ñoom anti Yaase ñoom anti Adam ñëpp ak ñoo awa ñàkk yëpp seen bos yaa fi waaye di wax women empowerment nañ gën a takka suñ digga rek award bi bu ko gis ne kayit kese lañ ma jox bii du kayit ku nekk nag la mi ngay ko mbaa assurer ko def ko sa nekk am na seen liggéey bi nit ñi recognize na thank you
It is important to say thank you for your outstanding work. Once again, thank you very much. I mean, these certificates of recognition is a clear manifestation of your outstanding work that you've been doing and that you have continued been doing. As I said again, the whole course of this women empowerment success story would not be mentioned without the domestic team, and that is clear. The CEO and his team at the diaspora are doing all what they can, but without your solidarity and your foresight, it's not going to happen. So these certificates of recognition is very, very important, and this will go a long way in putting you at the right course as people who have served humanity and who has continued serving the humanity. Once again, I wanted us to recognize our late friend, brother, uncle, Abdullah Joe. Abdullah Joe, let me just narrate a little bit. He's gone, but he is also a champion for women empowerment. because he has been tussling with your CEO all the time in Camden, London, with regards to the women's empowerment future prospects. In fact, unfortunately, he felt sick and he was unable to survive. But what he wanted was to retire in Gambia and be part of the domestic team in championing the cause for women empowerment. That is mentioned. And we were about to write a proposal. That is myself, him, and some of your brothers in diaspora. But that, as we said, that will continue. He's gone. He's now obliged of blessed memory. But I just want to mention that he has been a champion of this women empowerment, and your CEO has been in very, very serious loggerheads with him to make sure that things are moving, to make sure that things are done. But he has been a champion for this. Unfortunately, he left us, but obviously we will continue from where he stopped. Once again, I'm thanking you very much for your time and your efforts and your foresightness. Let's continue in solidarity and make this women empowerment a realizable institution or association that will be recognized at a global scale. Thank you very much. It's dedicated absentia in recognition of Ms. Marjorie Hitchings. Marjorie Hitchings has been very instrumental and outstanding in standing shoulder to shoulder with your CEO in contributing her quota towards the empowerment of women empowerment. So on that note, for recognition of his outstanding services, he has been awarded the certificate of recognition on behalf of Women Empowerment Gambia chapter. Thank you very much.
She's also in UK.
This other one is going to
Modu Sala. Modu Sala is this one is going to Magdalena. All of them are in UK.
this one our Janko.
Gada Cham.
Okay, this other award is going to a special person in diaspora who is always with women empowerment. Inside, outside. Who hamne kolam halatam yep muni women empowerment. Muni kofe ak family. The Hydra family. Okay, this other one is going to the same family. That's our mother. Sunyaila. More about women empowerment. From starting to ending, up to now. Mayal na ko yalla may good fan ak wer mu yalla. Bi mo sanale. That's the wife of the late dead Hydra. This other one is Selam.
Also, that one came on your home because you go fight the kula.
Last time,
all that stuff. It's from this family.
I want Buma to head go suma yaay ko bala diaspora nega te ñepp xam nañ ko fi jigéen ñu xam ne xolam rek la du jox women empowerment depuis starting ga start lu nekk mo ci ñom ñi nekk diaspora ñi mo mu ñu na fay muy yaay ñepp magi ñepp rakki ñepp muy anti ya sengé
Ya fe mo da ko fe ko la
the Hydra family this again had the lady the father the Hydra family ki dooma bo xamne la mari mom fu nekk la
ay dara karara
nekkut l'hôpital ni women empowerment rek nekkut tanka nekkut prison
bam
juma
tay bayiwu
mortuary yu ni
mashallah
mari lo xam bam fa
mashallah
Hydra family
mashallah
yalla ko yalla te ñu lo def ni yalla ko yalla wajé sen ba
suma sagala mom la
moy suma jëkke ma
bi ma ko warona ñoo jëlal ko sax né do dal ay dara karara
this all about Pura John
borom ma hay nga jëmo
I'm good all okay
I tell them to see what even this lady That is CEO even. She is very good. She helped with everything.
This other award is going to a special brother who hamne bi award bu ma amee ne mu ngay dem si brother bu ngay dem pam depuis starting ba ende mu ngi taxaw suñu boor jaral na ko mu fay ticket mu fekkee Women Empowerment programme bi tey jii programme bi démb la aga Gambia te mu ngi taxaw ak ñun Omar Kol mu taxaw ne mënuñ ko
Thank you so much, Omar.
Thank you.
I'm not going to be in English language. Now, yeah, I'm going to my first day, Madam Europe. They might want to award for my safety, key warfare.
Muna waxte muna def lu nekk yépp Omar Kol moo ko fayal mu def Europe mu ngi gërëm Omar Kol ñaanal na Omar Kol jërëjëf
Thank you so much. I think some of them mentioned things. Antiseptic,
kii moom mu ngi dem suñu spécial man ku xam ne moo amee suñu xaalis foofu Fatou Diop kii mu ngi dem to a special sister to Fatou Baro Ndiaye def lay dimbali coono.
Fatou Baro Ndiaye. She's a member even.
Bii moom mu ngi dem si jigéen ngay ne boo xam ne suma jëkkër boppam bii mu ngi dem si Adam Senghor.
waaye kooku moom ma jaar rek def nii waaye jël leen fii waaye
Adama Diaba moom lawyer la mooy suñu lawyer. Yama Fata Diop.
Is Fatou Wale guys.
Fatou Wale.
Bii moom mu ngi dem ci suma sëriñ bii suma sëriñ ak moom sëriñ boo xam ne macha allah yal na ko yàlla laftal waaye tin ndey penda mu nga ko jël
kooku nag joo xam ne macha allah moo ñu teree doon ma yaay moo ñu teree ñooy bàyyi waaw kooku moom kenn du moom macha allah dinaa wax
Mama Diarra also taking those people.
alright man Diarra fu ma jaar bii ko xam man bi nga xam ne macha allah moo gën ci man gën ci ñun gën ci ñëpp baax ci ñëpp ma jaay nga des maam ko defoo nga defoo ko la defoo nga defoo man bi nga xam ne moo gën ci ay rakam
Moo def.
bii moom mu nga am
Thank you so much.
waaw ñu ngi ko doon ne suñu liggéey dafa dem international wide because bi award bi dañ ko jox suñu CEO in Europe and in UK on behalf of Women Empowerment ak liggéey bu jàmbaar bu moo def suma yaay la rakki ñëpp magi ñeneen doomi ñeneen waaye may kaañi nga baala ma mama may kaañi balaa moo anti mooy nit ñi xam may kaañi lañ ko am suma yaay war ma ko oddura waaye kenn mënu koo fay may kaañi su dul tam-tam taxaw nu mel nii nu mu def nii Women Empowerment duñ àgga fii may toogut may nelawut su dul Women Empowerment may kaañi samp na fukki étage Gambia fii waaye lu mu am yëpp dem na si Women Empowerment lu mu ut mun a Women Empowerment lu mu am defu ko boppam Women Empowerment mooy yal na yàlla fay sa xol.
may kañ laay yaa jigéen ju mën góore yaa jigéen ju mën góore may kañ laay yaa jigéen ju mën góore may kañ laay yaa jigéen ju mën góore may kañ laay
nuyu naa la.
fay naa la.
sa tur bi.
Omar Koli.
Omar Koli. ok Omar Koli dama la am laajte boo xam ne dama la bëgg a laaj rek ñu jëmale si Women Empowerment Project Foundation. tey danañ ci am cérémonie bu mag bu nga xam ne our given ceremony to some of the philanthropists that have been working tirelessly to the success of women in this country. Not only fighting for the young ones, but also for the women who are behind them. So, maa ngi laaj association bi kañ lañ ko form?
Thank you very much for the questions. Association came into being the past 5 years, and it's now 5 years out of a concept that is about to serve humanity in general, but specifically gearing towards women empowerment. It came into being by an idea brought in by Maimuna Kanyi, who lives in the United Kingdom, through her mobilization with friends over there and other parts of Europe, but then specifically centered in the Gambia. The idea concept is brought there, but the whole coordination of human empowerment project is the women at the domestic level who have anchored the project from its inception up to date. So that is how it came into being.
Okay, can you briefly tell us who is this Maimuna Kanyi?
Thank you very much. Maimuna Kanyi is a Gambian who left the Gambia to the United Kingdom, where she's undergone studies. Studied for the past 4 years in college, which is technology, information technology and business management, which she did, and then completed her first stage of the program. Then she was able to stay in the UK doing community work. Among the community work, what she does is social networking within the London boroughs of the boroughs of London, in Newham, where she has created a network of philanthropists, politicians, councillors, and so forth. So that concept alone was centered around seeing how the social services treat women and the society in general. So that is where she got the concept. She said, let me bring this idea to my people in Gambia. There I think it will be so beneficial. And that is how she came up with it. She's a level-headed woman. She gets on with people. She's networking at both local and international level. And that is what brought in our idea in trying to serve humanity. And that is the whole concept. And that is Maimuna Kanyi.
Okay, and what are some of the aims and the objectives of this foundation?
Thank you. The aims are broad, but let's just specify it in a nutshell.
Yeah, you can just give me some brief.
That's right. The aims are intervention. In areas there we have the vulnerable people. That is the whole center of the idea is to intervene and help in areas whereby social infrastructure. If we talk about social infrastructure, we are talking about the hospitals, the social infrastructure, the prisons, and the HOAs, and also the tanker. These are all social infrastructure that are all geared towards helping the needy and the suffering. So obviously the main aim of women empowerment is to get some funding to stabilize, to mobilize funds to help those institutions and where you have these vulnerable people. And that has been the center stage of the whole thing. So it's the whole general concept is to serve humanity, but it is centered on gearing towards the vulnerable people who are in the prisons, in hospitals, and also in other detention. That is the whole thing.
What activity did the foundation do since their existence, since the last 5 years?
Thank you very much. And that's another thing which was very commendable, and as it has been manifested here, they intervened in so many places whereby they are complementing government efforts, to be honest. An example is Brikama Health Center. The women empowerment has been named after a ward there, if my memory serves me right. We come to Fajikunda, they intervened. The prisons, they intervened. Tanka, they intervened. SOS, they intervened. And even during the pandemic, these associations mobilized funds to locally sew masks which they distributed. So So the list goes on. Even the prison thing is now an annual event that they do by taking some of these necessities that they think are needed there to help the people who are incarcerated, especially women. So those are things that it's an annual thing that they do. And those are, to name a few, these are the key areas that they are intervening. Women wing, whereby women do and deliver, because the whole concept, if you look at the whole book, is women. And they know the needs of their fellow women. So obviously, that has championed the cause more and make it more worthy. So these are some of the interventions that they started, and they continue with that. And that spirit is high as far as we are concerned. But all is all, we can all commend those at the local level, because without them, these things will not be realized and it's not going to happen. So these are the key areas. The concept is serving humanity, but to be specific, it is towards the vulnerable society, vulnerable people in the society. And that is what they stand for, and that is why they will continue doing.
Is the foundation given help to those victims who are victims of SEV, gender-based violence, FGM? What are the foundation doing for this?
Absolutely. I mean, to just hint a little bit, the CEO herself has been in networking, has been in workshops in London about FGM. I mean, she's been certified there. She knows the mitigating circumstances. And of course, I mean, we have a teacher here who deliberated on that issue. So obviously, I think they are doing more on that. But yet still, there is more to be done, but we need resources. The detection of gender-based violence is multifaceted. But to make it easier, it is better to have resources being mobilized. But they are doing it. They are sensitizing, they are championing the cause, and they are trying to change the mindset of the traditional guys, traditional concept to be changed, and by exposing the dangers in it. So obviously, for the past 2-3 years, they've been in it.
Okay. Can you tell us what motivates you, because you are the opposite gender,
Yeah.
and then what motivates you to support these women in whatever they are doing right now, because these are some of the rights that they are fighting for women. So some of the men are saying, "Oh, this is a woman thing,"
Right.
but you are here sitting in front of me today, and
Right.
you are giving 100% support to these beautiful women here
Right.
who are doing a great thing for the society.
Right. Thank you very much for that question. You see, for myself, I am an educator. My work in the United Kingdom is lecturing, but I also did social sciences. I did development studies, which cross the board, all the human disciplines. So what motivates me is I've seen the CEO effort in trying to put things together, both in the United Kingdom and championing the cause of women. So myself being a person who has the mind of these social scientists, and especially when it comes to development discipline, I've read a lot when it comes to women, especially in the sub-Saharan Africa, where women shoulder the burden of both domestic and, of course, society level. Some of them are marginalized because of lack of resources. The stream of poverty that also has stifled their potential. So obviously, women have the potential. As we know, women are the first educators. The first teachers are women in society. So obviously, what motivates me, going back to your question, is to be part of that game-changing event. And of course, I mean, leaving Gambia, and then born and bred here, leaving the Gambia to go outside the United Kingdom has also made me learn a lot. Being born from a rural area, and I know how women and what they encounter. So I see it necessary and deem fit to help the CEO, who has been calling on Gambians, in general, the women, to come at the forefront for them to shoulder the responsibility of taking up this project to where it is. So what motivated me is I've seen her, that she's doing all she can to champion the cause of women inside of poverty and empowering them, and also trying to curb the malpractice that we think were good before due to traditional belief, then we have seen it as a hazard. So championing that is that motivated me to be behind her to make sure that we support her wholeheartedly. So that is the whole thing.
Okay.
what are some of the achievements of this foundation?
That's right. The achievements are wide and varied. I mean, we can see that, I mean, they've created a award, that they are funding award in the country. Of course, there is annual programs that is held at the prisons, especially there towards women who are in incarceration, and also the SOS, the vulnerable people in there. So those are the achievements that they've been recognizing. And of course, they were given letters of accreditation, of letters of testimonials that tells that this is what they did. So testimonials alone are a clear manifestation of what Women Empowerment stand for and what they've done. So they did a lot. And still they left an indelible in Brikama, Fajikunda, the prisons, and also the SOS, and now the fencing of the women parts in Tankatanga. So those are things that they've done, and they will continue doing.
Okay, finally, what advice would you give to those women who are sitting behind, being abused, and they are still keeping quiet with it?
I mean, thank you very much for that question. You see, being communicating and creating the network is being taboo, not only in the Gambia, but it's an African concept, whereby women suffer in silence, simply because of the fabrics of traditional beliefs and also family tidings. So they might think you are exposing, but I am appealing to women in general. Let them not suffer in silence. It's high time to make their voice clear on any circumstance that they think they have been disadvantaged and they're taken advantage of. I'm also appealing to women who are still behind to come and join women empowerment. This is a cause not for the CEO, it's a cause for all the Gambian women in general, because the doors are open for each and every woman to be part of this success story. So obviously, my advice is let them contact the authorities, let them concern. There are so many groups now that are championing women cause. So anything that is to your disadvantage, that you are taking disadvantage, they are taking advantage, is better for them to seek redress from all those authorities and then make their voices clear. And women empowerment have a domestic wing here, of which things of that nature can also be said for people to know.
Okay, before we just end the program, do you have an office where some of these victims can reach out to you guys for a complaint? And what are some of the qualifications for one to be a member of this foundation?
Right. I mean, the qualification is wide and varied again. For the office, they're still trying to get a physical office in the Gambia. But as I said, it is high time for government and local government and other philanthropists to intervene in making it happen. These women who are here at local level are doing tireless jobs here, going up and down, knocking on doors, for recognition and championing the cause. But yet still, they are yet to have a physical office, of which we all think and hope that one day intervention will come from a philanthropist, from state institutions, or at local government level. But the hopes are high that it's going to happen. But when it comes to documentation, I think documentation is already done. It is registered, and they have all their contact persons. They have an executive that conduct their meetings and the general body. So those things are all steps that have been taken, and they are all successful stories. But again, coming to the qualification that we're thinking about, you see, I mean, we got women who are very experienced here, as far as I know, especially at local level, who with their own with their experience, with their shared experience, will take this association along with. My herself is a graduate from a college in the United Kingdom, and most of you have lawyers in there. Okay. At the Majaba, there is a lawyer. You see, I've been behind. My job is a lecturer in the university.
Okay.
So that alone, that's another thing. But I'm just behind the closed doors. Okay. Abulai Job, the late one, has been also a doctorate guy who left his work and they work in all local government, central government, United Kingdom. Lamin Jame also has been there. So it's wide and varied. The qualification doesn't mean paper qualification. You have women who are women businessmen, women entrepreneurs. Their input will complement the efforts as far as women empowerment is concerned at the local level. So it's wide. And we also stretch our arms to government institutions and people we know through contact person about the existence of women empowerment. So learning from them alone is another experience that you
Okay,
can take.
don't you think it's high time for this foundation to be able to sit with the president and then give their concern, give their aims and objectives so that they can be fully empowered in this country?
Thank you very much. I mean, that is long overdue. You see, sometimes we call it red tape. I mean, you might know. I mean, the bureaucracy in the Gambia sometimes it is a bottleneck when things need to be done.
Yeah.
So the bureaucracy is another bottleneck. That is, these women empowerment, these noble women who are here should even be sitting with the president.
Exactly.
And then try to. But again, I'm going back to Fatou Kinte, who I know is a level-headed woman, and now given the responsibility of Women's Affairs Ministry. I think she should be the one to help and champion the cause to make sure that these energetic women sit with the president and lay their plans for him to understand. So it is also something that I'm championing. I'm calling on the Minister of Health and of Samate also to take up the challenge, because they are all complementing the efforts of both the Minister of Health and the Minister of Women, of Children and Women Affairs. So obviously I think they should.
Right.
They should.
That was a very interesting and inclusive interview with him, and then we are very happy to have you here today. And then the most important thing is you are representing a woman, and then you are a male, the opposite gender. So I think this is an example that you already set with the entire nation. Like men also should come out and stand with Gambian women to support, but not instead to bully them and to abuse them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. On that note, let me just also commend your proprietor, who has been a long time, to be honest. Since years ago, your proprietor has been a very strong woman. If she don't believe in what she believes, this is not going to happen.
Thank you.
Or she has taken a giant stride in sacrificing a lot, as far as I know, and then leaving the source of this country because of what she believes. And this has manifested, and I'm not surprised to have elegant and very, very professional people like you serving her today in this platform. So extend my greetings and my congratulations to her, and then we are behind her, and we'll be standing shoulder to shoulder with her and realize this big media to be one of the media that will be recognized in the Gambia and at the global stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Hello, beautiful. How are you?
Hi, I'm very fine.
What's your name?
I am Fatima.
Okay, Fatima, you're welcome to the Legacy News TV, and then we're happy to have you here today in Women Empowerment Project Foundation. You are a member too in that foundation. Can you kindly tell us what's the foundation about?
Okay, thank you very much. I'm very honored to speak on behalf of Women Empowerment Project. Actually, Women Empowerment Project has been initiated since like 5 years ago. So since inception, we've been doing various work like one of our members said recently, that's Mr. Omar. Yeah. So we've been doing so many projects.
Okay, what is your role in the foundation?
Actually, at first I was just an ordinary member, so then later on I was chosen to be one of the advisors of the group. Despite I can say that I was the youngest.
Yeah, wow.
So, but despite no matter what, they just choose
You are
me
definitely
as-
doing great. Wow. You are a woman. I am very happy with that.
Thank you.
And then what motivates you to be a member of the foundation?
Actually, I was having a chat with the founder, that's Mai Kanye. So then she explained to me that anyway, actually, Fatmata, since you've been an active member in so many organizations, groups, I said yes. So I wouldn't mind joining you. So as far as FGM is concerned, and I am a victim of FGM, so that's why I decided to join the group.
Okay, so you yourself are a victim, so you joined the organization in order to advocate for the others, not to be like you.
Exactly.
Oh, that was a good thing. And then what are some of the things that you have been doing with your community concerning about this foundation?
Yeah, like I said earlier on, we've been doing our ongoing programs, sensitizing people, going to the radio, TV. By then it was GRTS.
Yeah,
that was the only TV I can say it was available.
Yeah, it was
so
hard.
it was since when I was young, since when I was going to school.
Oh, really?
Yes. Because I joined a group called Voice of Hope under the auspices of Child Protection Alliance. So we decided we go out, we enrich to people, we voice out, we make sure that our voice are heard within the community, within us, within the society, about FGM, child rights issues, all sorts of violence that's going to have children. We advocate for everything.
What are some of the benefits that you gain from this foundation?
I gain a lot of benefit from it because through my experience, I try by all means to educate people, and also what I have from other victims, what they normally complain. So I try to compile everything and make it a use, not only myself but to other people outside.
Okay. Do you only focus on FGM or FGM or other sexual abuse?
It's all. I focus on all.
Even child rights?
I'm a child rights advocate.
Okay. So you can tell me, so I know you're an activist, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And you empower women?
Yes, women.
And the girl child?
Yes.
So those girl child that have been abused, for instance, Gambia is becoming a lot of child abuse in this country, especially when it comes to rape. And then we see sometimes some of the cases are being, thrown out in the dustbin. There is nothing that. What do you even sympathize with that victim?
Of course.
You always sympathize with the victims.
Yes, of course. Because the reason why I say of course is like victims are not heard. Their voices are not heard. For instance, here in the Gambia, when you went to lodge a complaint about being raped, most of the time, they don't believe in you. That's the problem. Most of them, they don't believe. It seems like they're trying to defend you from your rights.
Okay, and some do complain for the way the dress code, the way we the girls dress and makes men to rape us.
I didn't believe in that. Because there are some women who are dressed modestly, and whilst they have been raped. Rape is just a rape. So it doesn't matter whether you put on a short skirt, whether whatsoever you put, it doesn't matter with your dress code. A rape is a rape.
What step do you guys take to help those women who have been abused in their matrimonial home?
Well, actually, let the law put emphasis on it. If they are found guilty, then face justice. That's all we can do. So we cannot be going out and outreaching to people, talking about rape.
What help do you give those guys? Because the trauma that the victims go through is so much traumatizing that you can't even remember what it is.
Yes, definitely the traumatization is so not good for them. The only thing to do to help them is to counsel them, to make sure that they come back to their normal senses. Though it's not easy. It's not easy because you've been traumatized so many times. So it's not easy for you to come back to your normal senses. Though it might be for some people, because people are different, it might take a short duration before you come back to your normal senses. Some people it take them ages before they come back to it.
Okay, how can one be a member of this foundation?
Well, it's easy. You can just speak to us.
How can they reach you?
You can reach to our CEO, or you can just come to one of our members. We do have a meeting. We do have a weekly meeting at Serakunda. Yes, so you can reach to us. You can call on us anyway. Then you will be part of the members.
Okay, thank you very much. What is your final word to everyone?
Actually, one of my final words is like we are saying a big no to FGM. As far as FGM is concerned, and FGM is a bad practice. So we're saying a very big stop to that. Let us all try to come together and make sure that we put a stop to FGM. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Asalaamaaleykum mbokk yi ba tey ngeen ñu xool fii si biir Diagas TV News rek ñu ngi leen di sant di la jaajëfal yéen a gis tey lu fi xew nag si Women Empowerment Project Foundation seen award ceremony bu nga xam ne moo fi am fii si American Corner gis ngeen philanthropist women yi nga xam ne ñoo fi taxaw tey si biir Gambia ñu ngi taxawal jigéen ñi ñu ngi taxawal ndaw yi yëpp si bépp bu nga xam ne seen coono la ak seen tolof tolof ñu ngi sant da CEO tamit ak ñu ngi am seen benn càmmiñ bu nga xam ne moom tamit góor bu baax la góor bu am solo la si biir société bi mu ngi taxaw bu rëy mu ngi taxaw di jàppante rek am ay jarbaatam yi di leen jimbale rek si seen xeex bu nga xam ne si loolu lañ tàmbale nii dégg nañ fii tamit ñu bari wax nañ fi am nañ fi ay teacher am nañ si ay lawyer am na ñu nga xam ne ñooñu yëpp dañ jàng yi nga xam ne am na solo fii nii si biir Gambia bi am nañ ñeneen membres yi tamit ñu ngi si diaspora bi ñu ngi leen di sant di leen gërëm ñu fi nekk tamit ñu ngi oote képp ku nga xam ne victime sa nga ñëw nga contact leen rek ndax ñu mën laa dimbale képp ku nga xam ne tamit jigéen la da nga bëgg a bokk si foundation bi tamit ñu ngi lay sant di la gërëm di la wax ne you are highly welcome mën ngaa join si foundation bi rek soo contacté CEO bi any member of the foundation mën ngaa dinañ la jël te dinañ la oo nga ñëw nekk a member of the foundation number ku bëgg a am sa number tamit nañ leen fi jox bàyyil ay number yu nga xam ne di ngeen ko mën a call su nekkee victime sa wala da nga bëgg a nekk a member of the foundation foundation bi tamit on the government for a full support in order for them to be working easy with the Gambian women tamit dégg ngeen ko fii mbokk yi li ñu fi wax rek kàddu yi nga xam ne bari na solo trop tey nag sëñ Bantaba programme bi nga xam ne maa leen ko di indil samedi bu nekk depuis 5 ba 6 tey nag lii la leen fi amal jigéen yi nga xam ne ñoo fi nekk si Women Empowerment Project Foundation bi rek tey ñooñu leen seet si ñu ngi leen di tàggatoo di lay wax ne jërë ngeen jëf yéen ñi nga xam ne yéen ñuy seetaan fii si biir Diagas rek dinañ dem dinañ ñëwaat tamit samedi buy ñëw tamit bu leen fàtte nag ku bëgg a sponsor programme yi nomba yi nga war a xool tamit ñu ngi fa maa ngi leen di sant di leen gërëm man la seen soppe seen doomi day Binta Senghor ngay am Ali Baye moom si machine bi ak am Lamine Seydi Kane ñoo ma nekk di ma jàppale tamit jërë ngeen jëf